So I thank everybody for coming out,
The baseball.
support me, and let's support the legacy of these things. In closing, I give everybody much respect, love, and prayer.
Going into the hall, baby. We're gonna go live for a minute. Gotta make it happen. We're going into the hall, baby. Going into the hall.
He's the reason
Great
why
honor.
we were recognized.
Great honor.
David Todd got in the Hall of Fame, and the first thing he did, that there was ball players. Nobody really recognized. So it was me, Andy Walker, Rodney Lofton, Don Snowball. We had played with Todd over the St. Louis Wildcats. So he inducted the first group of us. So for people that once me and me, Rodney Lofton, we got in. We made it our goal, our focus, our purpose, our mission to recognize the guys who paved the way for us. Because without you all, there is no us. And that's the goal. We are trying to recognize the great ball players of East St. Louis and the surrounding area that have just been overlooked this over the years. And that day is over.
My baseball Hall of Fame, guys.
All right, here we go.
Kid O'Neal.
Time now for the inductees on this side of the river. First and foremost, where's Randy Brodsky? He played for the STL, MSBL, and Forever League. The teams, the Yankees, the Lugnuts, the Sharks, the White Sox, and Bud Light. He was speedy, fundamentally sound center fielder who has been described as a passionate player, still playing the game as a kid. Currently, he's a mentor, role model, and baseball instructor for local youth. Let's give it up for Randy Brodsky. Tony Gilmore, where's Tony Gilmore? Randy, would you like to say a few words? Go ahead, sir.
Before Randy speaks, we began playing ball, I think we were 9, 10 years old. I've known him play football in Denver, University City, accordingly, St. Louis Pirates. So we go back to home, 9, 10 years old.
So, okay, next preview, I've got about 3 and a half minutes. You're saying.
Thank you all for coming. Congratulations to the other inductees here today.
Thanks, Ken.
This is kind of a dream come true for me. I've been playing, coaching, rooting for baseball for 60 years because I love the game. This is really just icing on the cake. I want to thank David Todd. He recommended me to the Hall of Fame. David and I, as he said, played Florida League baseball together in New City 50 years ago. I ran into him last year when he was inducted into the St. Louis Amateur Baseball Hall of Fame. I told him I was still playing baseball and a little bit about my baseball history, and here I am. So thank you, David. I really appreciate it. I have some friends here today also. Thank you very much for coming today. All of my family is here. A big thank you goes to my wife, Andrea, for supporting my baseball habit, playing in 2 to 3 in 2 leagues, 2 to 3 times a week, or traveling to Phoenix for a week-long baseball tournament. Thank you for your support all these years. There are a lot of things I could not have done without you, and this is certainly. Thank you. My two brothers are here. Bruce helped coach my 4 league team. Dennis got me started in baseball and helped me create my passion for baseball, rooting for the Cardinals, and he taught me the game. No one can coach me hitting the third or home like Dennis can. We also coached our son's little league teams. We learned a lot about baseball, kids, and parenting. One of my favorite memories was visiting and playing on the field range in Iowa. We had half a nice day. Thanks for always being my biggest supporter on the field. I also coached my daughter, Sarah. Sarah's got that competitive spirit, which went on to benefit her in school. She graduated #1 in her nursing class. She currently works in the medical ICU at Barnes. First, she was in the middle of the COVID crisis. She just graduated with her master's degree as a nurse practitioner. Sarah's also getting married this week. Like I said, I coached my son for 10 years. That was a thrill. You'll have to ask him if he enjoyed the car rides home as we dissected each play of the game. He always took my constructive criticism well. We both learned a lot from it. Dan had a great high school career and he walked on at Ball State. I can't take all the credit because he's just a much better athlete than I ever was. But one of the things I tried to teach him was to play hard and have fun. Dan came here today from Mexico. He left the bachelor party early just to be here. He said, "Dad, I've got to be home for you." We got back into the game in the late 90s, when a good friend, Bob McDermott, was playing in the Open League. He asked me to join, and I thought it was good. Then I hit the jackpot in 2001. I joined Bud Light over 40 teams. I've been playing with them ever since, and I couldn't ask for a better bunch of guys. I'm sure you all have great teammates, but this group is special. Bud Light is a year-round organization. Of course, we play baseball in the spring and the summer, but we get together with spouses and significant others for all kinds of fun and cheerleading events. All the credit goes to Mike Stewart. I would definitely would not be here today if it wasn't for you. Thanks for all you do for Bud Light and all of us lucky enough to be a part of it. I'll wrap it up towards the afternoon. I'll wrap it up with a big thanks to all of you here on support me today. Thank you again to David Todd and Tim Turpin. I am very appreciative. I guess if you do something long enough, somebody finally notices.
All right, where's Tony Gilmore? Is Tony here tonight?
No.
Okay. All right. Tony played 10 years. His number 10. He was a pitcher in the infield. The leagues, Tandy, Coalville, Black Ball Circuit, and North County. The teams, the St. Louis Angels and the St. Louis Wildcats. He was the Bulldog pitcher and player unafraid to compete on the highest level. Currently, he's a dedicated high school coach and youth director of St. Louis. Also, he has a traveling showcase club. Let's give it up for Tony Gilmore. Here we go. Like to say a couple of words?
He wrote a speech, but I'm gonna give you a synopsis. So he basically wants to say thank you, and that baseball made him the man that he is today. They got him in trouble, and he loves you.
And with that being said, less is more. Cliff Hack. Yeah.
Cliff.
Here we go. My friend. He coached with me at Matthews Stadium with the St. Louis Mets. We were 15-0 that year. We came short in the national championship game, and that was the only game that we lost. Cliff played 18 years. His number was number 23. He was a pitcher, an outfielder, a first baseman, and just an all-around great guy. Andy, circuit in North County. The St. Louis Eagles and the Wildcats. He had a great arm as a pitcher, a speedy outfielder, slick fielding first baseman, and a timely bat to match. I don't know who wrote that.
First, I want to say God, because without him, nothing is possible. It's possible to wake up today, and it's possible to be here. To accept this gracious award that the committee felt good enough for me to receive it there along with our fellow recipients. Want to thank Chad, Rodney, Mr. Turpin, some of my older teammates over there, Rick Baker. I got some older ones back there. I got a guy. My last couple of years of playing, I played with the St. Louis Braves. I played the outfield next to Gary Gladney back there when I came in the league. He was playing with the Pirates when I played with the Wildcats. The first back game, before I ran on the board, I pitched against him a couple of times and wasn't end up on the same team. And the wipe it out, it was great to see you here today, brother. Steve Byes, at his house all the time, playing the game, never to beat me, but you know, that's all that was. But I'm gonna say this, one very fact about baseball, starting from the foundation. When my father put me in at Matthew Ditton, I knew Tommy Sullivan, I played for Rick Wilson, I played for Frank Robinson, played for a bunch of guys. A lot of adversaries, but good guys in the room. Albert Thomas, as you all know, Sumner grad, Mr. All-American, played against him all my life since 1977. The one thing I can say, the players that I coached over there, Keelan and Brian Powell, with Steve, the one family that connects all of us is camaraderie. It took young boys like myself and made us to good men. I probably but learning from these guys coming up, Mr. Rick Wilson, Audrey in the club coming up. Good productive citizens, good productive people. And if you come up that way, you can't go wrong. Thank you so much.
Gary Glasby. Grew up with him. Grew up with his sisters. Back in the day, we called him Mimi. Good speed, run the ball down. Just an all-around good guy. And his son, Little G, he played with us too back in the day. Gary Glasby, you got to say a couple of words.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to thank Mr. Tim Turpin, Steve. I want to give a special thanks out to a friend of mine. They know for years and don't need much. Well, for Joe, I wouldn't even be standing here today. He the one that told me about this Hall of Fame thing a couple of years ago. And I kept saying, so Joe called me, told me, say, look, last chance. If you don't do it this year, won't be another chance. I'm gonna give you Tim's information. Tim called me that next day. Can you speak to Gary Glasby? This is he. This is Tim. Congratulations. You're a Hall of Famer. I said, really? He said, yeah. But most importantly, I only have one memory that I can remember back when I was playing with the Pirates. It was the game we played over in Brooklyn, Illinois against the St. Louis Braves. I was batting, bases loaded. I was a good hitter. I wasn't the best hitter. But my coach, Old Man Les, he was so worried that I was going to strike out. Because he always felt I was the weakest link in the lineup. So I had a 3-2 count. I looked over at Les before I got back in the batter's box. He had his head down, he was walking in pacing, mumbling, he took his little drink. He said, I hope he don't strike out. Ball came, curveball, break. I caught it, hit it left center. I cleared the bases, got a triple. We won that game. That was one of my fondest memories of playing in this league. So, at closing, I'd like to say, last few words Russell Simmons always said when he closed this show. Thank y'all for coming. God bless you. Good night.
Horace LeGrand. Golf ball player, just like me. Got too old to play a game of baseball.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Let me tell you a little bit about Morris. He played 19 years. His favorite number was number 7. He was a center fielder and second baseman. He played for Candy, Cobelt, Black Ball Circuit, North County, and Abilene. He played for the St. Louis Eagles and the Wildcats. Very smart ball player. His skill set was excellent. Pro speed, offense, and defense made him a triple threat. And he was a headache for each team he competed against. Currently, he's a mentor, a coach, and a senior softball player. Let's give it up for Morris LeGrand.
I'm laughing. YouTube page. He ain't coming back.
Just want to say thank you. All this stuff he said is not true, but I do appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to be accepted to the Hall of Fame. I appreciate the guys that put this on. It's a blessing to be able to play this game this long and still be playing softball right now. Like I say, if it wasn't for God, none of us would be here. It's a child's game. It's grown men, we're still playing. Thank you.
All right, Brian Powell. PP. I've known Brian since he was 8 years old. That's a long time ago. His mother was an excellent parent amongst the baseball team. She was always the backbone of the team. She was a great ambassador for whatever team Brian or Keelan played for. Brian also coached my son in American Legion. He played 15 years. He was number 16. He was a catcher and a first baseman. He played with STL North County, the Black Ball Circuit in Metro East, teams, the St. Louis Eagles and the St. Louis Wildcats. Without a question, a team leader with the ability to manage the game from behind the plate with an explosive bat to match. Currently, Brian is a community advocate and coach. Let's give it up for Brian. First of all, I want to thank God. Without him, none of this would be possible. I want to thank my mother. My mother, she's been our support, our backbone. She's been in all these games coming up. My aunt Annette, she's been there right along with my mom and everything. I thank my wife Vanessa. And most importantly, I thank my brothers. We was raised to love baseball, love our fellow men, love God. A lot of these gentlemen in here have really impacted my life in baseball and just in life in general. One person is Rick Wilson. He coached me when I was like 7 or 8 years old, all the way up, and he still coaches to this day. Amazing man of faith. Steve Byers. I can't say too much about Steve, man. Steve is amazing. Great person, great leader. Dave Todd, Tim Turpin, Rodney, all my Wildcat brothers, Juan, Chuck, Rick. Oh man, it's just so many people that I can thank.
But if you guys know anything, the Bible says to whom much is given, much is required. And I am just not worthy to be in this room amongst all you baseball minds. We got hundreds of thousands of years of baseball knowledge in this room. I'm not worthy, but I am so thankful and appreciative to be standing before you guys. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This is for my dad also, who's not here with us. My dad was taken away from us in 2020 for taking the pawn shop out of Lee's Pond. But he is looking down on one of his baby boys. His other baby boy's coming up, but he's looking down, smiling up on us and everything. But thank everybody for coming out. Thank everybody who had an impact, not only in my life, but my brother's life as well. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
I must say, Vanessa is one of those baseball coaches' wives who travels all over the place with her husband, giving up her summer just to be with her son, and also to be with the man she loves. Thank you very much, Vanessa. Keelan Powell, the brother of Brian Powell. Keelan, come up here. Give me a little history on Keelan Powell. He played 15 years. His number was 16. He was a catcher, a first baseman, and an excellent pitcher. Also, he was number 25, and he played with the St. Louis North County, the Black Ball Circuit and Metro East. He played for the Eagles and the Wildcats, and another mentor for young men to look up to learn the game and learn life as an adult. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Keelan Powell.
I'd like to say thanks to everyone who came out today. God, I, distinguished members of the committee, Eve, Dave, Rodney Holmes, Tim, appreciate everything. I'd like to thank my teammates. I started playing with these guys when I was 17 years old. And going into it, I learned a lot from these guys. I mean, Chuck, Danny, Todd, all you guys, Ricky Baker, Steve Chumley, even Vince Locke. He helped me a lot as well. You guys were amazing people. You helped to mentor me not only as a baseball player, but as a man, father, a good son, all of the above. And for those things, I thank you all tremendously. To my family, my mom, my aunt, my wife, my kids, I cannot be the man that I am today without you all. And I love you all dearly with all my heart. And so, to my brother, Brian, he's the first catcher that I remember ever catching me. And he also was the first person to ever get me in trouble. My grandfather, he always looked at me and he said, "Well, that kid's gonna pitch one day. He has a good arm." And so that good arm would often get me in trouble. So one day I was out there throwing, and my grandfather was under the shade tree with his friends, and he said, "Boy, stop throwing those rocks over there." And I proceeded to keep throwing those rocks. He looked at me and he said, "I said, stop." He said, "I'm gonna come over there and get you." I said, "No, you're not. You're too old. You can't catch me." He said, "I bet you I can." I said, "No, you can't." He said, "I bet you I can." He said, I said, "No, you can't." He said, "Brian, catch that boy. I'll give you 50 cents." Brian proceeded to hold on to me until my grandfather took that slow stroll over there to the switch bush, grabbed that switch. He pulled all the leaves off with one pull and proceeded to wet my butt. I started to yell out. I said, "I'm going to tell my mom." He said, "Tell your mom, I'll whoop her too." So for that, Brian, Judas sold Jesus out for 50 pieces of silver. You sold me out for 50 pieces of penny candy. Hey, I love you all. Thank you all for having me.
Real quick, everyone. Mine and Keaton referenced that their dad wasn't here. Their dad is Captain David Dorn that was killed during the protest. I mean, big loss. He meant so much to those guys, and I know he was thinking, but I know he's smiling now.
Paul Cadillac, where are you?
Yeah, Cadillac.
Let me tell you something about Cadillac. There's a reason why they call him Cadillac. He played for 16 years. His jersey was number 15. He played center field. He played in Tandy, Cold Belt, Black Ball Circuit in North County. He played for the St. Louis Wildcats. Nicknamed Cadillac, smooth defense, excellent with the power bat. Cadillac could change the outcome of a game with either his bat or his glove. Currently, he's a devoted Christian and inspiration to all that know him. Cadillac, would you like to say a few words?
Everybody, I'd like to thank God first for what God put me through all of this. I'd like to thank my daughter for being here, my wife for being here, and my Wildcat brother. I thank Tim, Big Daddy Time right here. My right fielder, T44. We had memories and memories of baseball that I never forget. And we, whichever time we can go back and do it all over again. I miss the reunions, miss all kinds of family things, and come to baseball, we eat out of town, and we had the out of town things come in. But I just want to say thank everybody again. I want to thank everybody for showing up.
Rick Wilson. Remarks by Brian Powell. Let me tell you a little something about Rick. He played 20 years. His jersey number was number 5. He was a pitcher, a first baseman, and an outfielder. He played at Tandy, Cool Papa Bell, and CYC. Teams, the FTL Orioles, the Angels, the Knights, and the Braves. A dominant power pitcher with an explosive bat who can never back it down. The ultimate competitor. Currently, he's a mentor and coach at McClure High School. Brian, take it away.
All right, I just left, I didn't say all of it about Rick Wilson, but Rick Wilson, when I met him, I was 7 years old up at Matthews Dick Boys Club. I was playing up a year. Rick had the inside connection with Audrey, the most amazing person in the world. Audrey turned around and gave up all the kids that were born in '76. Rick called me. Rick called my mom. And I met him and stuff. I was up at the boys club. He said, "What position you play?" I said, "I'm a back catcher." He stopped me right there at 7 years old. There's no such thing as no back catcher. You better not never let me hear you say that again. I'm 46 years old, 47 years old. 40 years later, I still will not say the word. And it drives me crazy when people say the word back catcher. There's no such thing as a back catcher, it's a catcher. But Rick is an amazing man of God. First of all, he's an amazing man of God. He's been around so many years. He didn't coach so many generations of my family. He coached my older cousin, Frank, who played with Al. And then he coached me. And then he ended up coaching one of my nephews. So Rick has been around for so many years. His amazing helpmate, Audrey, has been there every step of the way. They have been like family to me, and my mom don't trust nobody harder than her boys. But Miss Powell trusted Rick Wilson. And without further ado, man, the man, myth, the legend, my coach. I coached with him as well. I played for him, coached with him. He has just been an amazing inspiration in my life. But without further ado, this is the man, Mr. Rick Wilson. All right, Rick.
Take it to the mail. And this is gonna start for me. First of all, I want to give all praise and glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It all started 5378 Wells Avenue. In the backyard, somebody told my mother that your son was gonna be salty. I was raised around a lot of girls. My mother put me in the backyard, started going batting practice with me. And next door neighbor, this Wilson, not related to us, saw her, was laughing in the backyard, and her throwing batting practice with me. He was coaching a baseball team, the Eagles, that my cousin Steve played on. Steve and Betty, thanks for coming out. And I started hanging around that team. Mama, I love you for putting me out there in that backyard, knocking me down. And I wonder what those people had to call your son Salt. I started hanging around the Eagles. They got me into Matthew Dickey Boys Club. I met Mr. Matthews at an early age. From that time on, he became one of my mentors. And I mean, I was one of the pallbearers. I was blessed to be one of his pallbearers when he passed away. But during that time, I got this Knights jersey on because the Knights changed my life as a 22-year-old knucklehead kid that didn't have any direction. I started on the Knights, younger guys. I was one of the younger guys on that team. With teachers, doctors, lawyers, mentors on that team. And 2 of them passed away in the past year. And I just wish they were here to see this moment today. I coached a baseball team, Jaguars. I got a couple more Jaguars here. Willie and I would stand up. But I got surprised today. One of my guys on that team passed away a couple years ago. And his daughters came in here today. His mother came in here. I mean, his kids came in today. Would y'all stand up? Because y'all just as big a part of the Jaguars. We played in St. Louis every hour. We traveled, and Cliff knows because he never beat us. But I love these guys. These guys here, all of them, they like my son. And they, 52 now? And I still call them my boy. But during that time, we had some great time. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, I thank you for giving me 2 of your kids. And that lady right there, my second mama, she never sent us on the road without, I'm talking about, I told her to bag lunch. She gave us a picnic basket to travel with. That was Miss Thomas. I thank my sisters for showing up here today. Y'all stand up, get your way. And then my sons and their wives, y'all stand up. My sons here, they keep riding these things bad. We want to see video. We keep hearing all this stuff. You can be making this stuff up. Well, I told them back that time, they wasn't, well, I don't know what the video is, it was VHS and all that kind of stuff, wasn't no YouTube. Brian, I had him my second team, my coach. Brian was the one who put me in my place. Miss Powell, thank you for trusting me with your son. But Brian, I had to take up, this team was the Jaguars, they were Jaguars too. That team wasn't as good as this team. Brian set me down one day and said, Coach, stop comparing us to that team. That team was good. We're not that good. Can you change our name? And I knew that was something different there. But Brian, I thank you for that presentation, Brian. I love you, Brian. One of these days I might get back on the podcast, but I'm just so busy right now. But your dad came to me up in Handy Park when I first started coaching you, and he said, Coach, I'm not even worried about it anymore. As I met you, I know Brian's in good hands. I don't have to worry about him coming. If he come home talking about Coach don't like me, I'm saying what he did wrong, not your coach. So I thank you, Keelan. Coach your son for a minute. I had to get out of there because, there was just too much stuff going on. But hey, I appreciate it, coaching your kid. And I know my time is about up, but I have to talk about my wife.
Front center.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
39 years.
Yes, sir.
Always had my back. Travel wherever I went. I coached baseball, football, basketball. And she was always there. But one day we was coming home from a game. She said, babe, why everybody else hit the ball way out there by the fence? And you always hit these little ground balls in the head. I had to come up with something. I said, I was being a team player. I said, I was moving runners along and everybody. So the next game we played was out in Marysville. And I don't know how many of y'all played in Marysville. But I hit a blast out to Marysville that went about 400 some feet. It was a grand slam, so I drove it all the runners that is bad. I was rounding third base, and I saw her face in the stands right behind the dugout. I pointed at her. I said, baby, is that deep enough for you? So as I end this speech, baby girl, I love you for being there for me. And we in the Hall of Fame. All right, folks, we saving the best for last. Ed Williams, come to the podium.
Thank you, Jack.
We got some brief remarks by Kevin Austin. Where is Kevin? Also, we have a fellow 20